Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Patricia Stuart of Patricia Stuart Originals. So I had a couple of prints that I had done, and I guess today was my day to be involved with teal and green, and they just didn't work out. And so this was on rice paper, and I didn't want to toss them. And so I decided that I was going to take whatever colors and my punchinella strip, and along with the makeup sponge, and we were going to just do something colorful so that I will be able to use this, whether it's in my mixed media work or use pieces of it in my art journals along with my ephemera. And so that worked. And then again, I did a green and yellow background, and it just wasn't working for me today. And so I took my leaf stencil, some pan pastels, along with acrylic paint, and we just got to dabbing and layering over just to make a sheet full of colorful leaves, which I definitely can use. And so if you have any prints that came out muddy or didn't come out the way you wanted, if it's too dark, then come with some brighter colors, some stencils. And if you don't have stencils, you can just use things like a makeup brush, and you can make imprints, whatever you'd like, so that you could turn them into something else. Again, this print wasn't working for me today. And so I have my large Posca black marker. It's a really fat edge, and I'm deciding to use it in that way. I also have a gold Posca, a very large, this is a metallic, this is the chisel, they call it the chisel shape. And so I'm using it to now use it with the background, but with something completely different on top. You can use smaller Posca or Sharpie pens, making all kinds of markings, mark making. This is where the mark making really comes in handy for things like this. And you can create something that you didn't intend on, well, it turns into something that you didn't think about. So don't be afraid to experiment, turn things into something completely different. And with me, I do my best work when I just throw caution to the wind, and I'm not thinking about whether it's going to work or not. I'm not thinking about what I want to do. I just do the first thing that comes to mind. And it always ends up being something that I really like, because I couldn't have thought about it and wouldn't have thought about it going in to pulling prints. It would not have occurred to me. So it's good to just let yourself go and not really spend a lot of time thinking about what you're going to do, how it's going to come out, will it come out. Just get into that creative space and see what happens. Takes a little bit of a courage to not plan and just see what happens. And, you know, you'll be surprised. So what, you know, if I was to mark up all of the papers, it may not look like much like this. But then if I was to cut all of these pieces up, where now you're seeing them reduced to size, you will have a different perspective on what you're looking at. And so it pays to just kind of let yourself go and not really think a whole lot about what you're doing, and just have a time where you're just creating, simply creating, not thinking about it, unplanned, creating. And I find that I do my best work that way. I know in earlier videos I've done, I've sort of cut prints up, turn them into something else. I don't know if any of you do art journaling. All of these pieces can be used in art journaling. You get a different look, different perspective when you cut them up. And it really can turn into something interesting. I use a lot of my pieces in my journals, my art journals, and they turn out to work out fine for me in ways that I didn't think about. So here I've cut these up. I know I've spoken about this in, you know, earlier videos. But when it's, you know, cut in pieces, get a different take on what you're doing. And also, speaking of art journaling and cutting things up in pieces, I've had, I told you guys about my book that I brayer off excess paint, that I just brayer off into my book. And this was a page that had a lot of stuff in the background brayered, and I was able to take it, doing the same thing with all these little pieces of prints that I didn't quite like or didn't see their value. And I was able to tear pieces, and I think I cut this word out from a magazine. I think it was National Geographic, and pieces of prints that I wasn't using, and made this mix media piece here. And so it's really a good thing to, and I did another one as well. So it's just pieces of older prints that I've done, cutting out words. I used an old print of my grandfather's passport. He sailed onto many shores in his travel to America. And so I used that and some rubber stampings and some words at the bottom that described his journey. So these were all pages that I braided off excess paint, and using again these types of things to now create a mixed media piece. So don't be discouraged when you have prints that don't seem to turn out the way you want, because we could never ever know what a gel print could turn out to be. We just wouldn't be able to know. The gel plate and the paint we put on does its own thing. So those are just a few ideas and tips of things you can consider. Thanks for stopping in today. Keep doing art. Till next time.